Stop waiting for the perfect post. It doesn't exist. Post ugly and post now. You just procrastinating and wasting your most valuable asset when you seek perfection with your YouTube channel. Hi, my name is Bobby and I'm a Swift UI iOS software developer and strategist, and I built an ecosystem of 13 apps for iPhone, iPad, and macOS for creators and creator entrepreneurs to optimize their time and grow their revenue. Now, what is considered an ugly post? Let me explain. Let me set the tone. You're an ambitious Gen Z, or you're an overthinking millennial, or a non-tech savvy Gen X or boomer that wants to tap into this thing called the internet. Now, you probably have desires of making money online, working remote from home, or traveling with your MacBook. However, the one thing that's stopping you is that you're probably constantly seeking that perfect post, which inevitably ends up being no post or one post a month. Now, I made peace with the fact that I'm not going to get any substantial views with an educational channel until I have proven my worth to YouTube and my audience. So in order to do that, you must do the reps, and they aren't going to be pretty. At first, your thumbnails will be terrible. Your ideas will be basic, your count will be high, and the hours of editing will be very, very long. And all for 6 views after you post. And that sucks, right? Wrong. Well, that's exactly what you need to keep making more videos. You must punch through the brick wall of viewership humiliation and decide to go all in. And as soon as I did that and took some advice from a fellow creator, it really did click for me. You know, I have a music production recording background, as I once was a professional signed recording artist, now just semi-retired. However, over the years, I've produced over 25 projects, including 3 studio albums, and I have a catalog of over 30 hours of instrumental music. Now, this was over a 15-year period, okay? It wasn't overnight. So I now take the same approach to this new medium of video content in YouTube land, which is also not going to be overnight. Now, it was in 2021, that's when I actually decided, you know what, I'm going to take YouTube serious for my business. But it took until 2025 to figure out what I was best at from a video standpoint and what direction I should take my content on my channel. Now, I'm going to pop up on screen the amount of terrible thumbnails that I've posted, took down, removed, etc. whilst iterating through the changes on this channel alone. So the longer you wait to post, the longer it will take to figure out what is your niche and what is your area of speciality on YouTube. And I don't think you can get to that point, in all honesty, without posting ugly content on the internet. Now, I think experiencing that pain, of not getting views for weeks, months, sometimes years, it actually builds your tenacity and resilience, and it switches something inside of your brain to be able to withstand, the dopamine deficiency of minimal views. And think about it. If you were getting views straight away, you probably would make worse content because you wouldn't know why the videos are doing so well. As opposed to posting 100 videos with 100 data sets to analyze and make a fair estimation of what is good and what isn't, based on the viewership analytics on the back end of your channel. Now, this is why posting multiple ugly videos in the beginning is totally fine. Okay, so it gives you the boost you need to continue on with your channel. And they say when you fail, you learn. And I know this firsthand because the attempts that I've made at trying something new or going outside of my comfort zone is the very same thing that has shaped me today. So if you don't attempt and you don't fail, then what have you really learned? Probably not that much at all. Plus in the time it took you to not attempt anything, you gained nothing. And at least in the times you attempted something and it didn't work out, you didn't waste any time, right? So these are the times where the lessons really do kick in. Now, I'm of the belief that if you make 100 ugly and rough around the edges videos, then you're going to reach a point of total clarity where you realize what business model you should focus on, which products to sell or not to sell, who your audience is and what they want, and what type of creator you truly are. So without that level of data, then you're just going to be guessing. And perfection won't allow you to get to that place because you would be operating under false pretenses, which are essentially perfection is a myth, right? It just doesn't exist. Now, the only perfection I know that exists is God Almighty Himself and Jesus Christ. Apart from that, I know nothing else which is perfection. So just post those videos. Get the ideas off your iPhone, your iPad, or even your MacBook, or even just a notepad, and just record them, edit them, and upload them, right? They're better off on your channel than nowhere. And over time, you're going to get better, but that's just the game. It takes time to get good. Now, none of the biggest YouTubers you watch today had perfect videos in the beginning. You know, they all had ugly videos to start with. So you're no different to them. And more importantly, you're actually going to do yourself a disservice if you continue down a path of perfection or seeking or striving for perfection, because you could be holding back a video or videos that someone out there on the internet really needs. So post the ugly and post now. And if you like this video, subscribe. And if you want to know why 82% of YouTubers fail, then watch this video here where I explain why.